What is up? Welcome in to a special live edition of Enter the Jungle. The NFL draft is T minus 48 hours away here, and we're excited about it. We're so excited that we're going to do a live taping of Enter the Jungle. And then after that, boom, we're going to do a little Q&A here on CBT, a pre-draft Q&A. And this is our last live, barring something really unforeseen, until the draft. And then I'm going to be at Paycor Stadium all weekend long, covering things for Cincinnati Bengals talk. Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien. He's Andrew Fox Miller. We're welcoming you into a special live edition of Enter the Jungle. We're going to get into the show in a little bit. We're going to tape it. And obviously you'll see the live back and forth and all of those things, but then we're going to use that copy for FanDuel Sports Network. And it's our second annual all-name draft, Andrew, and that's pretty good because it's the best names of the 2025 NFL draft. The game doesn't matter. All that matters is the name. We did this last year. It was a success. We're going to do that. We're going to dive into the stadium stuff as well. That's not something we covered on the channel earlier today. Figured it would be the perfect lead with the good news that came out of Paycor in Hamilton County today. So we're going to dive into that. We'll let you file in a little bit. Andrew, say hi to everyone with the draft less than 48 hours away now. As of right now, the Brian Callahan's Tennessee Titans will be on the clock in 48 hours. They'll take their quarterback, Cam Ward, and then we'll see where the draft goes.
Yeah, and again, James already kind of alluded to it, but full transparency, we're recording this for FanDuel Sports Network. They're going to replay it over the next 5, 6, maybe even 7 days. So this is the hardest week to be able to do something for them because it's irrelevant. Like what are we going to do? Make predictions. And then all of a sudden people are just hanging out in a restaurant or bar or sitting at home. And then they're playing us trying to predict things on a Saturday after most of those answers have been made. So we're going to do the most evergreen attempt we can. And I think the all-name draft is probably going to be an annual tradition because it is fun. It's nothing about watching tape, analyzing players. No, we're just going to pick them based off name alone and see who can assemble the best list of prospects for their roster.
Yeah, all name draft. Yeah, the best names, to be clear.
Yes.
Football does not matter. We're trying to find the best names. So think of it that way. It is not about Travis Hunter or Cam Ward. All right. Travis Hunter, the name grows on trees. The game might not. The name does. It's pretty basic. And so Andrew Miller, by the way, he tries to spice it up with the Fox. He has the most generic name in America, Andrew Miller.
I try to spice it up. You're the one that started that.
Andrew Fox.
As far as this channel is concerned.
That's true. I was going to say, you think I made up Fox?
No, of course
that's not your name. I didn't do that. All right. So without further ado, stay tuned, by the way, because I promise you we're going to get to a Q&A afterwards. We'll talk NFL draft. Any questions you have about Walter Nolan or Cam Scadaboo or, are we getting into the all names? No.
Are we?
All right. Xavier Watts. It's a pretty good one.
Is
it good enough to make it? But we'll take your questions after live taping of Enter the Jungle. We won't get into the live chat during that. In between segments, we'll probably talk to you, remind everyone, because there'll be new people coming in, what we're doing, because we don't want you to go anywhere, because it is going to be a live. We are going to chat afterwards. So, Andrew, what you got?
Just to confirm, since you started the live, is it recording local? So I have my files for later for FanDuel.
I would assume.
I would too. I just wasn't prompted. Maybe I was when I set up this room. Anyway, I know it's more recording. Yeah. It says recording locally.
All right. Look at you.
Should be.
Freak me out. I mean, it should. I don't know why. I never clicked not local.
I agree. But who knows? It could be like, I'll throw up the little banner here when we're recording. Look at that. Look how professional we are.
Look at you.
Oh my goodness.
Professional you are.
Oh.
Ain't no way I'm designing that. You did that. Take the credit.
Yeah, it took a ton of effort.
It did. As did my all of the work I put into the all-name mock draft, which is coming up. But first, let's dive into the stadium. Without further ado, we'll get it started here. And again, live taping of Enter the Jungle. We'll get into a Q&A pre-NFL draft coming up after the show. It'll be about 22 minutes is how long the show is. And I'm going to hit it at this 5-minute mark, Andrew. So that way you know, and we can time it out. So let's go in 4, 3, The Bengals in Hamilton County have almost reached a deal. It looks like an agreement is coming in the near future, plus the second annual all-name draft. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Enter the Jungle. I'm James Rapien. He's Andrew Fox Miller. Thank you so much for joining us. Catch us every single Tuesday at 8 Eastern on the YouTube channel Cincinnati Bengals Talk weekly on FanDuel Sports Network. And we are proud to be brought to you by Garage Beer. Grab a Garage Beer today, maybe a Garage Beer line with the weather that we've had so far this week in Cincinnati. And yeah, look at Andrew. Look at Andrew. He's ready. He's ready for about 6 of those.
It's empty, and for good reason, by the way. That box.
Yeah, those are empty. The fridge is not empty. The fridge is stocked. And the fridge is at Paycor Stadium, going to be stocked every fall for the foreseeable future. The news of the week, Andrew, is that the Bengals, that Hamilton County, while agreement hasn't been officially announced, nothing's been signed, the T's haven't been crossed, the I's haven't been dotted, but the county has agreed in principle to a deal with the Bengals to extend their lease at Paycor Stadium in downtown Cincinnati. And it's a huge, huge deal that this announcement was made. I can't tell you how many times over the past few weeks, and it could be just someone that I randomly see. They're like, "Hey, James, are the Bengals going to move?" And it was like a real topic. Like multiple people were concerned, were thinking about it. We talked about it last week. I never really thought that they would seriously move out of the tri-state area. I was worried a little bit about that deadline in June. And this essentially puts a lot of that concern to bed. They agreed or reached a memorandum of understanding, which essentially means that both sides are in agreement, and the county still has to vote on it. But the team in the county is working together on an $830 million stadium renovation project. It's going to be in multiple phases. But overall, Andrew, in an agreement that includes funding from the state, funding from the NFL, funding from the Bengals, funding from the county, it does look like that a deal is going to get done here, which is huge, huge news for all involved.
Yeah, and I was looking over Jay Morrison's article on BengalsTalk.com, working my way down the list. Bullet points here, right? Now, I got you. So what? We're starting. We'll call it phase one, right? Renovations to the east and west club lounges and upgrades to all 132 suites. Okay, us civilians that don't sit there, doesn't impact me, but okay, good for them. Good for them. Improvements to certain concession areas. All right, along with stadium beautification.
That helps
efforts.
You. By the way, Andrew's a season ticket holder.
That's right. That's right.
Letting everyone know.
Vertical transportation, elevators, stairwells, possibly escalators. That's an important one. I take the escalator in the East and West Club lounges.
Get rid of the escalator. More elevators.
No. Hang on. Electric power and code upgrades and the scoreboard control room. Okay, great. There should be an added bullet point about how both residents and non-residents of Hamilton County are spared from excessive clickbait articles once the deal is finalized. Like, county and Bengals at odds. Will Joe Burrow demand a trade if deal not reach? That sort of thing. Like, that's what should be part of the benefit to all of us. This is progress nonetheless. And I see some of the chatter out there. Why do my tax dollars have to fund a stadium? Why are we lining the pockets of the Brown family? These same people, James, were panicking when Katie Blackburn's words were taken out of context, suggesting the Bengals could move to another city. They were panicking because they know the reality of the situation here. This is the market. This is the market, especially for a city like Cincinnati. When you're a relatively smaller market, there is always another city next in line, ready and willing to make a deal for a new sports team. An NFL franchise is the biggest get. Hamilton County can always work towards the best deal possible, and they can always work towards a deal that is better than the one they agreed to previously. But regardless, you're always going to have to bend. You're always going to need to cut some sort of deal because that's the market. That's the game you have to play. So I am all for it. I am happy that this is happening.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone should be happy. It's unless you hate the Bengals or you just don't want them in town, and even then, it's really hard to argue that they're not good for the city, good for the county, good for all involved. I mean, you just think about how much people care in this town about the Cincinnati Bengals. And so I never thought that moving was realistic. Never thought that it would be the Chicagoland bang or whatever the hell Mike Florio wrote. I never thought any of that was realistic, but like people did. There was chatter, and to your point, it's pretty simple what Hamilton County is doing and is trying to do. They got their butts kicked in the 90s. I was a wee lad, and I know that. I don't remember exactly what went on in real time, but now they lost that deal. They got their butts whooped. And so they don't want that to be the case again. And that's why it got kind of weird here. The Bengals probably understood that. At the same time, just because they won the last deal doesn't mean that they're going to take a huge L now. And yeah, it could have gotten more uncomfortable. So for this memorandum of understanding, which I hesitate to say that it's an official agreement, Hamilton County has to vote on it next week, but it's a huge development. It's a great thing. And hopefully you're right that this comes together. They sign a long-term lease agreement and just end this, push this down the road. Let's have this conversation in like 2045. Let's really push it and extend the life of this stadium and modernize it and make it what it should be. By the way, I really am a fan of the Bengals being downtown. And I also think it's really cool that they operate out of the downtown location. Like, I'll just use the Cleveland Browns as an example because they're going through stadium stuff too. And if you go up 71 and you hit the river there, you're going to see, or on the lake, they're on the lake there. You're going to see their stadium. Well, they're not there. They're there 8 times a year. And outside of that, they're in Berea at their location, at their practice facility. I think it's really cool that the Bengals are downtown always at their stadium, in their locker room. That's their home. And so hopefully it can stay their home for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And believe me, I can see the benefit of, let me rephrase. I understand it's difficult to grapple with the fact that there's that kind of money being pumped into something where, for the most part, you've got 8 games a year actually happening, and it's not a dome. So you can't turn that easily into an arena. You have to worry about weather and all that. I get all that, but there's not an easy solution for that right now. Like you just said, there was a situation decades ago where the county didn't really make the best deal. It's a thing of the past, but presently we don't have much to work with. We can't just add a dome easily. It would just be too expensive. And I think a lot of things would go wrong unless they completely rebuild. And I think if they did that, maybe they would move it out of downtown. I can only speculate, but for now, like, this is probably the best of a not ideal situation that has been decades in the making.
Don't need a dome. I think you can. They've been better at having the concerts there. I went to Luke Combs last year and it was just insane. And all the concerts that have rolled through, I forget who's going to be there this August. It's someone you would want to go listen to and pay attention to. Classic. I just forget who. But the point is, they are starting to have more events there. I agree with you. Like, I think it would be cool if they had more, and you can only do so much. I think we also feel that pain because Heritage Bank Arena or whatever it's called stinks. And if you had an actual indoor facility that could do NCAA tournament games and hold that, then we wouldn't feel it as much and we wouldn't notice it and we wouldn't put the onus on Paycor Stadium. So it is what it is there. But I think everyone involved wanted this outcome, including us. And so for that to happen, I think it's a huge deal. And you know what else is a huge deal, Andrew? Hopefully we don't have to deal with any of the clickbait stuff you mentioned when it comes to stadium stuff, because that is the worst. You know what's the best, though? The best is the all-name draft. It's draft week. The 2025 NFL draft is here, April 24th through 26th, which means it's time for the second annual Enter the Jungle all-name draft. We will get to that coming up next. What's up, YouTube? How you guys doing? We are live, and yes, you're watching a special Enter the Jungle live conversation. We are going to make sure Andrew is well hydrated here. We'll dive into our all-name draft, and we're about, I'd say about 13 minutes away or so from diving into your questions. I know they'll be about the draft. We'll do a live Q&A. We're taping this for FanDuel Sports Network. So I just want to let you know, all 719 of you, it's going to keep climbing. We'll get to the comments. We'll get to the conversation, but we have to finish our show here on Enter the Jungle. But we like doing these lives as much as possible because we get to interact with you afterwards and during in these situations. Season ticket holder Andrew, mad that he doesn't have a suite.
Season ticket holder, escalator, rider.
Well, your escalator is different. I'm talking about the escalator they always show on the broadcast.
Yeah, that's the one I take.
You take that one?
Like, is it the shot that goes out to the river?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I take.
Do you take that one? I thought you were on my side.
It's like top of the escalator, couple rows down. Just not club seats. I'm like, I look through the window.
Is that escalator working regularly?
It does okay.
That's okay.
I mean, the times that I've been there, it's done okay. It's not perfect.
I just remember when that stadium was first open. And it was like Bengals Browns, the 3-12 Bengals and the 2-14 or what? 2-13 Browns are playing here today. And then the CBS thing would roll, and it would just show the. I mean, I'm sure they still do it, but I remember then because I thought it was cool then, and now it's like.
Yeah. It's like it's definitely like a barometer. It's like the equivalent of like the brown bags over the head, but it's just everybody collectively going down the escalator, calling it.
Yeah. Oh, and the escalators are moving, folks.
It's definitely it's the ride of shame. You're just like,
You haven't had to do that much with Joe Burrow. All right, let's get to the all-name draft, and then we're going to get to some questions here. What did we do? About 11 minutes there? 10 minutes? I think we did 10.
Give or take, yeah. Let's stick with 10.
Cool. All right. All right, let's see how we're going to make this all-name draft work. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. He's Andrew Fox-Miller. I'm James Rapien, and let's dive into the second annual all-name draft. Everyone knows it's NFL draft week, and the Bengals and 31 other teams are trying to really upgrade their rosters and become not just contenders, but world champions, and the draft could do that. We'll see if the Bengals do that. Obviously, we'll be covering it on the YouTube channel, Cincinnati Bengals Talk, but let's dive in. The all-name draft, the guys where the game doesn't matter. This is the draft where it's all about the name, the best names in the 2025 NFL draft. Andrew, you get to do the honors. You have the first pick in the all-name draft.
Ooh. So I feel like usually my first one isn't always going to be the best name, but it's going to be the best name that is actually going to be among the higher of the draft picks. And then I just go wild card. Doesn't matter from that point on. So under that philosophy, I feel like I'm going to go with an easy, right down middle of the road one. I think I'm going to go with Jackson Dart because he's a quarterback. Like the fact that your name is Jackson Dart, that just feels like you are meant for something, right? Like that is a name. You don't give the name Jackson Dart without actually throwing darts, right? Like you have to be either, I mean, what else could you be if your name's Jackson Dart in the world of football? What makes sense there? I feel like I have to go with that as my number one. Probably not my favorite name, but it checks a lot of boxes for me.
Yeah, kicker could be.
I thought about kicker. Yeah, that was the only secondary.
Kicker could be. All right, Jackson Dart. See, I'm going to write things down. I'm going to take notes just like it's the real draft here. I'm taking it very, very serious. All right, so my scouting department has been on this. Oh, man, there are multiple that I want here, and I'm really worried about you stealing the ones that I want. And that's tough. If I could trade down and get multiple picks, I would. This is tough, but I'm gonna handle this very simple with the best name I think is on here, and it's someone that I hadn't heard of before today, and maybe I should have, maybe I shouldn't admit that, but Tonka Hemingway out of South Carolina. You are the number one pick for me in the all-name mock draft. Hemingway is an elite name, and when you have a Tonka truck and the fact that you're a defensive tackle, you should be picked 3 rounds higher than you're projected to go, my friend. And if you're projected to go undrafted, which maybe he is, maybe isn't, it's a deep defensive tackle class. Maybe he's projected to go on day 3 and I'm missing him. But Tonka Hemingway is someone that I am very much in on and is my pick here, Andrew.
That's a really good one. The question is with Tonka Hemingway, were you the original like classic metal parts, or is it this new cheap plastic parts. We'll see, Tonka Hemingway. But
Yeah.
I used to have Tonka trucks. Did you? Were you the plastic era, James? You might have been the plastic era.
Oh, I was for sure.
Okay. Yeah, this is.
I'm going to look up Tonka. Yeah, Tonka Hemingway is projected to be a 6th to 7th round pick. So I nailed that. Okay.
I nailed that.
There we go. So he's projected to be a 6th or 7th. Tonka, you should hear your name in the 4th round, baby. Tonka Hemingway, buying the jersey, unless it's like an AFC North rival or something. I don't want to get eggs thrown at me at Paycor Stadium.
Let's be clear. How many of these are we planning on doing here?
6. We're going to do 3
6?
here, and then we're going to come back.
Oh, you're going to take so many from me if we're doing 6.
Yeah, three a piece, and then we'll break. So there you go. Come on, pressure's on.
Okay, all right. Well, again, I'm going to go with higher quality draft pick and quality name, one that I feel you just hear it and you're like, that's not real, is it? And it's a position the Bengals need. They won't get him. Defensive tackle. Aeneas Peebles. Why
won't they get him?
I don't know. I just don't think they will. Look, his nickname as a kid, by the way, was it's not counting. It's not going on a jersey, but it was Fub because he was fat and chubby as a baby. But his name is Aeneas Peebles. Yeah, I mean, it's great.
The Bengals may end up with him. I wouldn't
think?
rule that out. Yeah, there's a
man, this is a clip. If it happens,
decent chance. Yeah, Peebles. By the way, if so, you get a jersey. I'll buy you one.
Okay. I'm in.
But you have to buy me a Zeke Biggers jersey because that's who I'm taking.
I love that one.
Zeke Biggers, another defensive tackle. Who would have thought? I'm all in on the trenches when it has nothing to do with football. It's all about the name, baby. Zeke Biggers. We got Tonka Hemingway and Zeke Biggers. Oh, I think I'm off to a hot start here, Andrew.
All right. I'm only going to take this one because I'm concerned you're going to take it.
I know what you're
tight end.
I know exactly who it is. Go.
Is it a tight end?
I don't know who it is. Go.
Rivaldo Fairweather, tight end out of Auburn. Fairweather. Can you imagine just wearing a jersey that just says Fairweather on it? That's perfect. That is so great. I'm in on that. I just don't want you to take. It wasn't my third choice, but I'm getting very nervous. You're just going to be plucking names that I want.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. All right, I have one more in this round, and then we're going to take a quick timeout and do one more round, 3 more. I'm going with a corner, just all defense out of Rutgers with my 3rd pick in the 2nd annual all-name draft. James Rapien selects Robert Longerbeam.
That's a great one.
Robert Longerbeam. I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better than this. Longerbeam? Are you kidding me?
That's a Hall of Fame name. Like that is, like, if you don't make the Hall of Fame, like that was your destiny.
And he's going to be a pick. Like he's going to be in the 5th round. Like Longerbeam, another one that who knows, may end up in Cincinnati. We have 3 picks. We've made 3 picks apiece. We're going to make 3 more coming up next. This is my favorite. I think we're way long.
I feel like I'm going to run out of names. I didn't know we were doing 6. I thought we were going to do 5.
Oh. Whoa. All right. We'll be quicker here. All right.
Hey,
so if you're just joining
kind of quiet, is it not feeding me? What's happening? Oh, Storm Duck. Yeah. Storm Duck, by the way, did I get Storm Duck last year?
One of us did. One of us did for sure. Storm Duck was
he was a hot commodity in the all name draft. Absolutely.
Yeah. Storm Duck. I mean,
yeah.
I think I'm winning so far. Chat, what do you think? Jackson Dart, Aeneas Peebles, Rivaldo Fairweather, or Tonka Hemingway, Zeke Biggers, Robert Longerbeam? I think I'm winning. Only 3 in. So, all right. We'll go fast here. So be ready. Have your name ready.
Yeah, this is the last of the longish segments. Not even that long. And then we got a really short one.
No, we're like 5 minutes of recording, and then we're going to take all your questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we're really quick.
Yep.
Really quick here. So we're up to almost 1,000 people in the chat. Let's get it going.
Let me get all right, we're good.
The 2nd annual all-name draft continues here on Enter the Jungle. He's Andrew Fox Miller. I'm James Rapien. And let's keep it rolling, Andrew. Who are you taking with your 4th pick?
Ooh, so many picks left. I'm going to go with wide receiver, Moose Muhammad out of Texas A&M. Moose Muhammad. That is a name that I don't even know that you can't fail. Moose Muhammad. Moose, Like
Yeah.
that's like T. Imagine the crowd when Moose runs out of the tunnel. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good one. I think that's a really good one. All right.
Oh,
Moose
James, if you
Muhammad.
take the one I'm holding on to, I will be so. I don't even think it's on your radar. I don't think it's on your radar. I'm gonna be so mad though.
Oh, now I'm gonna look. No, it's okay. I'm taking my guy. Taking my guy. Cam Scatterboo, baby.
Yeah, that's
Got
a
a little
great one. Of course.
Scatterboo, baby. Cam Scatterboo. Cam Scatterboo from Arizona State. I mean, the running back. He's going to be the highest pick guy of everybody outside of Jackson Dart, maybe Aeneas Peebles, that we've had so far in this all-name mock draft. But to me, Cam Scatterboo, that's how he plays. It's just he's scatting all around and boom, knocking through people. He should be Scatterboom because that's what he does. That's how he plays. But Cam Scatterboo, you are a member of my team in the all-name mock draft or the all-name draft. Go ahead, Andrew. You get your fifth guy in here.
All right. To be clear, I've got 2 left.
Yep.
And I'm holding on to 1. It was going to be my honorable mention, but since we're doing 6, I plan on 5. I'm going to hang on to him. And if you take him, I will be very, very upset. So with that said, I'm going to have to go with Kobe Bryant. And by the way, cornerback Kobe Bryant out of Kansas, Cobee Bryant. It's like Timu Kobe Bryant. I don't know what we're doing here, but I got to take that just because that's crazy to me.
Yeah, he was on my list. Shocker. I mean, I have Kobe Bryant stuff.
Of course.
Is normally on my shelf. Here's the problem. It's been done a lot. And so I was like, you get docked points, Like
I get docked points?
No, not you, but like he did because he was hot. I was like, oh, Kobe Bryant, he might be my first pick. And then I'm like, psych, there's already a corner in the league.
Yeah.
With a corner in the league.
That's right.
And so it's tough when he's the second corner in the NFL named Kobe Bryant. Okay. For me, because I was trying to hold Kobe, but I'm going to go Princely Umanmielen from Mississippi, from Ole Miss. He's going to be drafted pretty high, edge rusher, may end up being a Bengal, but Princely is an elite name, Princely Umanmielen. And I might have said his last name wrong, but that's what you're getting.
I like it. It was a mouthful. I heard it. I saw it. It tracks. It's perfect for this game. My final one is not a mouthful. It's very easy. In fact, no one would question how to pronounce it. But there's a reason I'm picking it.
Hold on. I'm going to say it right now because I looked it up. It's Princely Umanmielen. Umanmielen. Princely Umanmielen. So there you go. Even better. All right. Umanmielen.
All right, sure. Again, you had to check that one. You're not going to have to check this one. It's easy. But it'll be very clear why I picked it. Tackle out of Cincinnati, John Williams. Now, why would I pick John Williams? James asks himself. Perhaps some of the audience is wondering that. We talk about stadium improvements, James. Just wait for the soundtrack in Paycor Stadium on game day. If you draft John Williams, the tackle, the maestro. Hang on. Let's wait. I can control these lights, James. I can control these lights. Let's go. Imagine John Williams running out of the tunnel, and then the Imperial March is playing, and you've got John Williams running out, the maestro. Let's go, James.
Oh my goodness. You Star Wars nerd. I did not have that one. That one's good.
I knew you would. Williams. I had a feeling you wouldn't, but I was worried you would figure something out.
Yeah, not John Williams, but that's hilarious. He had the lightsaber out and everything. Oh my God.
And Cincinnati. And it's an O lineman. Let's go.
Yeah, it's very, very good. And now I got to end the all-name mock draft with Mr. Irrelevant. And honestly, I'm looking at these. Running back. The running back, y'all. Ulysses Bentley the fourth.
Ooh.
Ulysses.
That's luxury
Bentley
right there.
Fourth. That's right.
Luxury and like
my man sits
hardened.
on cloth seats, they become leather seats. Instantly. Yeah. Instantly. Okay. Suddenly when he bought a Daewoo or a Geo Tracker. Jake Lisco drives a Daewoo. He bought a Geo Tracker, and that thing came with a heated steering wheel. How does that work? You know how that works? when you're Ulysses Bentley, it just works that way. It's about that. So there you go. Man, that was fun. So you had Jackson Dart, Aeneas Peebles, Rivaldo Fairweather, Moose Muhammad, Kobe Bryant, John Williams. I had
John
Tonka
Williams,
Hemingway,
the maestro. Let's be clear.
Tonka Hemingway, Zeke Biggers, Robert Longerbeam, Cam Scadaboo, Princely, Uman Mielen, and Ulysses Bentley the fourth. The second annual all-name draft is in the books, and we have an update on one of my favorite Bengals and someone I was rooting for all offseason. It's a positive update. We'll get to that coming up next. All right, we'll be right with you guys. We're going to finish this. We have like a 1-minute segment on Zack Moss, and then we're going to get to all of your questions.
And which, by the way, I'm seeing comments of some names that I did not have on my radar, and we will address those after this very, very short segment. It'll be like 2 minutes.
Under that, because we're way over.
We probably are. This could be a long night for me.
You have to cut a lot of that stadium stuff out. Oh, man, this is great. Let's get to the all-name.
Yeah, I love how the thumbnail was all around the stadium, and then we just went completely.
Bentley the fourth.
I marketed this as new stadium deal. It's in the thumbnail, all that, and then I just went all in on the all-name draft. But how do you market the all-name draft? You got to be in.
No, I mean, we did the stadium stuff on YouTube.
No. I don't regret it. I just feel like it's just funny that that was the one that we just leaned in on. You know.
I knew the all-name draft. What we may have to make it a whole episode next year.
I know.
Honestly,
yeah, we need engagement. Anyone that's in on the all-name draft, I need to get evidence of that because I love doing it. But if people don't respond to it, then
we build a scouting staff.
Oh,
to see.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I've got some ideas too. I just thought
because that can be
maybe we'll talk
like
about
everyone does all these bracket things. No,
yeah.
We could do an all-name draft.
I love that.
And yeah. Okay, let's knock this out.
All right, real quick. Water. I went to a happy hour right before this. And
water is for cowards. Water is for cowards. You will do up downs until Andrew is no longer tired or thirsty. Name the movie.
I feel like we are
name the movie.
Way more wired than this chat right now. I feel like
name the movie.
Is sluggish.
Name the movie.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to your.
Remember the Titans.
Oh, I wasn't listening to the quote, but
way more popular than your little Star Wars flip that you mentioned.
Oh, stop. That is not objectively false. Like I don't care if you've never even seen Star Wars. Go on.
I have seen all of the Star Wars.
I've seen a Star War. James Rapien.
2 stars fighting.
All right. 2 minutes. Let's go. Let's wrap this, and then we'll answer some questions.
That wasn't Jalen Ramsey and AJ Green of like 10 years ago. Okay. Welcome back to End of the Jungle. He's Andrew Fox Miller. I'm James Rapien, and the best news of the week for me, for me, I mean for Bengals fans, for everyone. Zack Moss renegotiated his deal with the Bengals, agreed to basically a restructured deal. He's on a 1-year contract. He was certainly a cut candidate, someone I thought they were going to cut, and he dealt with a serious neck injury, suffered it last year, played 8 games for the Bengals, must have suffered it in game 8. And didn't know it, goes out there, practices, feels something in his neck, and boom, just like that, his season was over. And I think at one point it felt like his career could be over. It's not. Renegotiated his deal. He's going to be a Bengal this year. And I'm really excited for him because I do think he mattered last year. A lot of people look at his yards per carry, look at the Bengals run game with Chase Brown. I get it. Chase Brown's awesome. But I think Zack Moss is certainly someone that can help this team. So I thought that was just great news for him personally from a health standpoint, and obviously good news for the Bengals that they could keep him around.
Yeah, I agree, of course. I mean, and I'm interested in your take on this. What's interesting about this development is that the Bengals are essentially committing to Moss, it seems like, in 2025. Are they not? Otherwise, why guarantee the money? Though we don't know all the details yet, but they clearly liked what they saw in terms of his recovery progress, I would assume. And assuming they're sticking with Moss, because again, why guarantee him money if you're not? They'll have Chase Brown, Zack Moss, Samaje Perine in the backfield. At the time of this recording, the NFL draft is happening in 2 days. If they draft a running back, James, I feel like I need to emphasize that with you. If they draft a running back, it seems likely it would be on maybe day 3, which is in 4 days. I just can't see them grabbing a running back out of the 6 picks they currently have. If they trade back and add a pick or 2, then sure. But as of right now, what? Maybe they need a running back for the 2026 season. What do you envision in terms of this backfield with those 3 more or less established?
Yeah, it's an elite running back draft. So I think that you could certainly see them taking one. And they did their due diligence on the day 2 guys. I really, even before this news, I didn't think things were trending in that direction until round 3-ish on. And so we'll see if they go that route. But yeah, I could see them drafting a running back. We'll see if they do. Regardless, we're going to have you covered here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. So please make sure that you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And for Andrew Foxmiller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Enter the Jungle.
All right, we're here.
Yeah, talk for a minute.
I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. We have got some comments. People ecstatic about your all name draft picks, by the way, James. Let's see here. I don't know about Fat Watts. Do you know about Fat Watts, James?
No. Are we talking about the Florida player? No, we're not talking about the Florida player. We're talking about no, I didn't know him. Wide receiver.
What? Okay.
It's a nickname. That's probably why.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't listed that way and we overlooked it. That's a good one. Man, that would have been a really good one. Oh, now I understand. For a minute there, I'm like thinking like Marvel, and then I'm thinking MCU, Chris Evans. Okay, now I know what they're saying regarding the backfield. Chris Evans kidnapped. That's a whole nother story.
I'm checking Watts. Yeah, Watts is not listed on. I don't think he's considered I think he's a prospect. I don't think he's going to be considered a legitimate NFL draft prospect. I just looked up Watts, and Fat, in some of these high end, the Beast doesn't have him in there. So just to give you an idea. So that's why.
Yeah. But and I tried to look outside of that scope as well when I was preparing for this, and I don't know how I didn't come across Fat Watts. I think you guys should do a live stream name draft during the draft with real-time selection options. That opens up the topic of, I would love to. James has a job to do during the actual draft. Mm-hmm. He won't be sitting in that chair. He won't be in that house. And I just sit around and wait for James to tell me what to do. And I can't leave and have any fun during the draft. I haven't done that in 5-6 years. I just sequester myself in this room and stare at my phone. And
basically I tell Andrew to look down until it's time to look up.
That's right. Exactly. My family just traveled to Florida on vacation, and I'm sitting here right now while they're in Florida.
We sent them on vacation
because I was very worried that I wouldn't be able to be at James's beck and call during the draft. So,
Andrew, it's draft week. Send them. You're staying. That's how the conversation went.
Basically, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's basically right. I had the conversation, and then my wife questions everything, and I start to cry, and I hand my phone to James, who has the tough conversations with my family.
Oh boy.
Andrew, get you some garage beers. Have a night. I plan on it. I was going to plan on that actually last night. For those that missed it, we did the setting the draft board with a lot of people. Joe Goodberry, Jake. I'm not going to go through the whole list of people, but go check it out if you haven't seen it. What are you messing with? What are you?
We're not recording anymore.
Changing roles. This isn't your role. What are you removing the overlay? And this is going to be the second night that I'm probably just gonna. I have a little time. I might watch something tonight. Maybe have a garage beer. But I had no time last night.
You have plenty of time.
I had no time last night.
No time.
Oh. All right, let's get some other questions and comments, and we've got probably 5-10 minutes, let's say. And Papa Bengals showing up. Star Wars bit was epic. Bravo. Thank you, sir. James can't appreciate that, but I'm glad others can.
Oh, put your lightsaber away. No one wants to see that.
Caden, your guys' chemistry is great. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Caden. We just met last week, actually.
Imagine. If that were the case, I would have probably been in Florida with my family.
Look down.
Do you guys see them cutting Burton or trading him? That's a question that comes up time and time again. Obviously, I would imagine if they're cutting him, that's not going to happen
draft
yet.
A receiver? Did I say draft a receiver?
Would you not say that?
I mean,
no one said first round. No one said what round.
I've said that they could because they could. I don't think wide receiver is something that they're highly prioritizing. Could they? Of course they could. Late, like that's it. Is like late. It's you just got to take a guy that you think is going to make it, and so it could be a receiver, it could be any position. So
But
yeah, maybe they do, but I don't think that
even
impacts
about could, or is that what you're?
I don't remember. I mean, they could. I don't think they necessarily will. I wouldn't mock a wide receiver to them at anything. Let's get this one. Let's get this one.
What you got? What joke?
No, there's no joke. Colston Loveland is an awesome prospect. I don't care that he plays tight end. He's an awesome prospect. And all these other guys that you love have huge flaws. And so the Bengals better have Colston Loveland high on their board. They better. It doesn't mean that they have to pick him. But if he's not high on their board, then they're doing something really wrong because the rest of the NFL has him super high. And they're a pass first team where he would be. I'm not sure there's a better fit in the NFL, including the Chiefs, including like all of these elite quarterbacks than the Cincinnati Bengals for Colston Loveland. Yes, it's very serious. And he should certainly be in consideration for 17. And I hope Duke Tobin's watching and I hope he calls me after this so we can talk about it because he should.
The platypus clarified things.
Oh, I see. Well, that would be a joke too, because he can actually block. But yeah, I could see them trying to take a shot. Sorry, platypus. I didn't mean to go after you.
We've got some.
There are so many people that are like I've done these interviews and they're like, all right, James, let's get to your hot take. You think the Bengals should like one of the top 10 prospects at 17 overall? And it's like, oh yeah, welcome. That's how you do the draft. If you're worried about your damn pass rush that much, then you should have addressed it a month ago. Yeah, you know. I mean,
we're little I've got some other good football questions lined up, but Logan here is speaking to me here. Logan. Nothing to do with football. In what order do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I know
because I guarantee you're wrong.
Indisputable. Go ahead.
No, go.
It's peanut butter first. One, you're using a knife for the peanut butter. If you're going to use the knife for the jelly, which oftentimes I'll just use a spoon, but if I'm going to use the same knife, I know the challenge is to get rid of that peanut butter first. It's going to take some effort. I want to put in the true work, the finesse on that bread with that peanut butter. You get that out of the way, it's all gravy. In this case, jelly from that point on. Go on. I have a feeling you're going to change your opinion on this based on what I just said, but go on.
No, I'm not. It is peanut butter first, but it's peanut butter on both sides. Amateurs do one side. Even if you don't like a lot of peanut butter, you put peanut butter on both sides with jelly in the middle. Yes.
When you say both sides, you're saying peanut butter on one slice
of
bread, jelly
pieces of bread. Peanut butter, both pieces of bread, jelly in the middle. That's how you make peanut butter.
No, that's crazy.
That is.
What are you doing?
Especially if you're ruining your kids' lunches. Do you make your kids PB&Js for lunch? Do you do that?
Oh, you're saying because you don't want it to soak through the bread. No, I'm not making a peanut butter jelly and throwing it. No, listen, I'm not throwing it up, making a peanut butter jelly, throwing it in a bag and eating it 6 hours later. I'm making it in real time. I'm going to attack it in that moment. So I'm not worried about it.
Still better both sides. You've never even tried it. How are you going to tell me?
I probably haven't. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't, but to act like that's the right way. Get out of here.
Guess who I learned it from? I learned it from the GOAT. Guess who I learned it from?
Who?
Bill Belichick. That's who I learned it from.
Okay, fine. No jelly honey, by the way.
I think he's doing pretty good right now. You think Bill's doing pretty? I think he's doing pretty good right now. He's got a pretty good life
because of his peanut butter and jelly habits.
I think so.
That's served. Yes. You're right.
PB&J goes a long way.
He's going to Florida with his family. He's not staying home in the basement like I am.
He was making lunches for his college girlfriend.
This is an underrated comment, by the way. No jelly honey. I've tried to get my kids into the honey. For some reason, they're not into it, and I don't understand why. I feel like that's a brilliant combination.
I've never done PB and honey.
Out of your mind? I'm not saying everyone. Okay. Anyway, all right. So
toasted PB&J is good.
Yeah.
Toasted. Yeah.
Okay. This is an important question. Bengals Nation.
Peanut butter toast is just legit. You ever done peanut butter toast?
Of course. Yeah, that's a go-to. Like, I don't know what to make for breakfast. I've got these two ingredients. I'm gonna throw that together. Trey news. No.
The little chocolate milk. Oh, now we're cooking. Woo-hoo. Trey news. I mean, is there Trey news? I don't know. I don't think there's any.
I mean, it's been pretty static. I mean,
there's no Trey news.
Now, I would imagine by the draft, certainly after the draft, that's when we're going to start asking that question. But
we did this last week. What are you trading Trey for? Would you trade him? Let's say they take Mike Green 17th. You trading him?
I'm Not for my what? No, I'm trading. If I'm trading him for picks, it's going to be a lot of picks in this draft. A lot of day one, day two picks in this draft.
A lot? What do you mean a lot?
Like I'm not doing like trading down to get one extra pick or something like that.
Would you trade Trey for like the
pick.
28th pick for the Lions? Like, would you trade him to the Lions for
No.
the 28th pick?
No.
Then like if the Bengals say no to that, then they're just not trading Trey.
Right.
Because like I don't even know if the Lions would offer 28. You know, so it's
yeah. And I don't know what's being said back there. I mean, like if for all I know, there's some real convincing bluffs or truths happening where you're screwed no matter what you do, and you just need to make a move while you can. I don't know what they're up against in that regard, but if I'm looking at it as just like a transactional situation, an extra first rounder in this draft for Trey Hendrickson, like I want to draft Trey Hendrickson. So what do?
They send Trey to Detroit for 28, and then they take 28 and trade down for like 38 and 41 or something, or what is it, 39 and 41 with Chicago, and then they turn Trey into 2. I'm just trying to figure out like the best case scenario. But to your point, it's really hard to sell me on the idea that they're going to be really a Super Bowl championship level defense, which has got to be the goal. I've said that for like a month and a half, and then Zach Taylor said it yesterday, and I was like, yeah, that's the goal, is to be a championship level defense. This idea that they need to do this and no, you got to get to a championship level. And how do you do that?
It's a weak class this year, right? A late first isn't as valuable. But my point is that it's not so much that, and I don't even know that it's a weak class. I think from a quantity standpoint, I love this draft. If you've given me more of it, great. But if you're letting me hyper focus on a single first round pick moving up or whatever, like I don't love. That's all I'm trying to say. Nolan.
Yeah.
Thomas.
And someone said, Peter Schrager said this today on McAfee, that, if they draft Shamar Stewart, and he was just throwing out an edge. That's why I mentioned Mike Green, that it makes it a trade easier. I guess, but Miles Murphy is an unknown right now. Joseph Osai is on a 1-year deal. It's not like the Bengals are swimming with edge help. And so just because you get an edge, well, especially someone like Shamar Stewart, is going to take probably a little time to develop his pass rush. And you want that. And you're seeing literally with Miles Murphy, a guy the Bengals had really high on their board, like a high first round grade when they picked him 28th overall. It takes time for these guys to develop sometimes. And so that's still a tough sell. Even if they pick their number one edge, insert whatever edge you want them to have outside of Abdul Carter, you know, because he's not going to be there. But hard for me to say, oh, yeah, now you can trade Trey and be better on defense this year.
A few more comments, questions here. We'll make this one quick here, but I thought this is the timing of this. We had a little group chat about this today. Don't take any player that another player's trained or recommended. We could throw in former coaches in that conversation, James. But would you subscribe to that philosophy? Because I don't know that that's always true. But I guess I can understand the smoke. I get all that.
I like that because it's like, I'm the complete opposite. I mean, in my line of work, if I hear someone that's like, oh, well, this person's really put together, they have their head on straight, they handle things the right way, they know what they're doing, well, then I'm interested in that person. So I think it's valuable to know how players feel about certain guys. It doesn't mean that you put blinders on. There's a lot of former players that sucked as GMs, but if a player's like, man, that guy's a mother bleeper to deal with and prepare for, and then have to deal with on, well, yeah, that's great. That's extremely valuable. So yeah, I know Al Golden feels that way too. I asked him about that. And I think that's going to be a really, that is not underrated with the Bengals, but I think even I've done probably a poor job of articulate. Like Al Golden's either coached against, or his team has coached against all of the top guys in this draft over the past 3 years, like 95% of them. And they might be on offense, so he's had to deal with them, or they might be on the opposing defense, so he didn't have to deal with them, or they were on his Notre Dame team. Like he's going to have unique insight on a ton of these guys that the Bengals are looking at. And I think that's going to be really valuable and has been valuable.
And I think the comment here is what is being referred to. TJ vouching for Burton, Willie for Carmen. Not only Willie for Carmen, but Paul Alexander for Carmen. We have a video, an interview with James and Paul Alexander after Jackson Carmen was drafted. It's out there.
Honestly, yeah, it is. The Carmen pick is so much worse than the Jermaine Burton pick. It is so much worse. Now, The Burton pick as of now stinks too.
Sure.
But the Carmen pick was so bad because even if you take away the work ethic stuff and all the character stuff and all of the questions off the field and the attitude stuff, the talent isn't there. Like, he was never a second round talent. And with Jermaine, yeah, he's definitely a third round talent. Like, you can see it. Like, there aren't many dudes that can track the ball the way he does and just pluck the ball out of the air deep downfield and have the body control and the focus. And like, he could still be something. Like with Carmen a year in, I was like, doesn't work hard, doesn't love it, and is just mad talent wise. Like, he's not Amarius Mims, where Amarius Mims is just wows you with talent. Obviously, he works really hard too, but Carmen didn't have that. So it's like, all right, well, why'd you pick him? And I still don't know why, because I don't care what Paul Alexander. So there are times when, yeah, you should take it with a grain of salt. And like, I love Willie. Next time I see Willie, I'll dap him up and talk to him. But just because Willie's like, oh yeah, I trained this kid, we'll do a little bit of homework and realize that, yeah, just because he handled Willie's 2-week camp or whatever he did with Willie, maybe it was a month, I don't know, really well and made an impression on him, that wasn't his track record. And we knew within like 3 days of him being in Cincinnati that it wasn't going to work.
Speaking of Jermaine Burton, we'll kind of end on we'll end the Jermaine Burton discussion. I know we'll do maybe 1 or 2 more comments after this, but is Burton going to the workouts? We had the off-season workouts that occurred earlier this week. Do you have any record or knowledge of that taking place?
Yeah,
with Jermaine
he's there.
Burton there?
He's in Cincinnati. Yep.
I mean, he's in Cincinnati, but that doesn't.
No, he's there.
Okay.
No, I'm saying
right,
he's in Cincinnati for workouts.
We got to be extra clear with that one.
You're trying to get me to make a joke, and I'm not.
No, I'm not trying. No, I'm really not. I'm the one that's putting it out there. So, I've got 2 more. Jihad Campbell report. I think this was today, right? He'd be ready before the season starts. I assume we were talking about Daniel Jeremiah, said he'd be a good fit. Are we higher, or has nothing changed?
I mean, didn't I make him number 1 today? Let me look. I have my order here. I did the video early this morning. So full disclosure, I'll text Andrew like at like 6:30 in the morning, like, hey, I have a video idea. I'm gonna record it. And like, usually it's either recorded by the time he wakes up or whatever. So if I ever look tired in a video, it's because it's probably really, really early. Yeah. I mean, I have Jihad Campbell, Walter Nolan, Kelvin Banks Jr., Colston Loveland, Nick Emanwari, and then Derek Harmon. Like, those are my 6 in that order. That's how I would take him. Jihad Campbell. If he's there at 17, I would do a little shimmy, because you just got the guy who's going to be an anchor on your defense. You know, I think the Baltimore Ravens defense was treading water and about to drown. And then they go and trade for Roquan Smith. And it just gives them this presence and this identity. He's there. He's a big part of their identity. I'm not saying they don't have other good players, because they do, but that was a huge factor. And then they get the safety out of Notre Dame. And it's like, it was just one thing after another. And Kyle Hamilton's awesome. And so to me, when you look at that, and it's Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton, and those are the 2 guys you really think about a lot on that defense, I think about Jihad Campbell and I think of Nick Emanwari. And can those guys can you get one of them to be your Roquan Smith or your Kyle Hamilton? If you can, you do it, and you dance your way to the podium, and you dance back, and you thank the NFL for letting it happen.
I'm only flashing this up because Caden has been on a tear with this comment. Andrew for president. I don't want to be president, maybe president of
Cincinnati Bengals talk.
That's fine. That's about as far as it's going to go. James, I got one start in there. You tell me if you want to end on that or if you just don't even want to talk about it. It's not football related. Let's see here. Do you want to do a story or no?
A story? Go ahead.
Did you look in the starred tab on the comments that I queued? Sorry, I should have been clear.
Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, we'll pass on that one for now.
All right, that's fine. I don't. Who could be a scout? Not me.
Me.
Okay, good.
Me, baby.
You go
Nah, he's
go
probably
for it.
talking about you, president and scout.
Imagine how many text messages I get if you were a scout at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
All right. Should we
We're
wrap?
good. We're good. Yeah, we're good. Let's get out of here. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow predictive draft.
much.
I will make my predictions for the Cincinnati Bengals. What I think they're going to do at 17, names to watch, and what I think they could do at 49, at 81, so on and so forth. Andrew is going to have so many names spinning in his head, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So please do me a favor. There's over 1,300 of you watching right now. This weekend, we are going to have the conference calls with all of the draft picks on our audio platform. So whether it's Apple Podcasts, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Amazon, go there right now, type in Cincinnati Bengals Talk, hit that follow button. You'll get those conference calls. I'm going to put them up on our audio feed. They're not going to be here on YouTube, the audio feed. So do that. Support our audio side as well. It's going to be a big weekend. We're obviously going to have you covered here with, you're going to hear from Zach Taylor. You'll hear from the coordinator. You'll hear from the draft pick. My goal is to interview the draft pick one-on-one, which will probably air on Enter the Jungle next week. So we're going to have a ton for you. It's NFL draft time. And if you're looking for more, check out bengalstalk.com. For Andrew Fox Miller.
Let's speak John Williams into existence, everybody.
Oh,
I can't play the music because we'll get taken down. Disney is on top of things. John Williams, James, into existence, into existence. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's go.
Look at that. All right. Is it Jahad Campbell season?
With the
I hope so.
Yeah, no, it's an annual tradition. I took it out on James last year. It was a Jake this year. We get it.
Did you last year? You got mad at me?
Yeah, I did, because you passed over me. Somebody got something to plug, and then you just went right past me.
Did I?
Yeah, and then I went off on you. It's actually good. I'll clip it out sometime. It was good.
Andrew. Did I say you could look up? All right, that's going to do it for us. Until next time, for Andrew, I'm James. Thanks for watching here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.
See you, everybody.